becoming an IT engineer, having a family. These are the things that they want. They're not realizing what their child wants. No, there's a complete disparity between what the parent wants and what the child wants. It's not the parent's future; it's the child's future. No, so they never understand from that point of view. Now I've done so much for you. We as parents have educated you. Why put the guilt trip on the child? Right? Already the child is going through immense pressure as to, oh, what is my future? What am I going to be? Am I going to be well settled? A million things going through his mind, the youngster. To top it all, parents putting him on a guilt trip doesn't work that way.
Our today's guest is an award winning psychologist. Her PhD thesis, a comparative study on burnout between IT employees and BPO employees, was published in the Journal of Psychological Research, an international journal. She was donned with many a hat, including that of a panelist, chief guest speaker, writer, judge, and an ambassador for many social causes. She has a successful practice and has written over 150 articles on mental health in various newspapers and magazines, and has monthly columns in 5 leading magazines. She has been the recipient of awards. Noteworthy of them is TEDx Star Award. She is planning to come out with a book of case studies by the end of this year. Her long-term goal is to build a mental health facility in Chennai which is affordable and effective. Dr. Mini Rao.
So thank you so much for being on the show, mate. It's a
Absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much. So diving into the show. So I was truly fascinated by your way that you have changed your careers and the way you have opted different sorts of things in your life. So what kind of mindset goes when you're trying to?
Well, I don't think it's actually a mindset. I believe a lot in zodiacs. I'm a Gemini. Okay, that's my zodiac, and Geminis don't like monotony. Okay, just doing counseling on an everyday basis. Of course, I do counsel patients, but I take only a limited amount, like 4 a day. Apart from that, I love reinventing myself. I like change. I don't want monotony. Okay, I love challenges. I'm very adventurous. And the lucky thing about my horoscope or whatever my dad says is that opportunities will just flood me. And that's what's happening here. Every single day I get an opportunity to do something different. One day I'm called to be a DJ. Another day I'm called to be a KJ, that's a karaoke jockey. Another day I'm a panelist. One day I'm a judge. One day I'm told to model. I mean, I've come on the cover of magazines.
Right.
I've done every single thing. I'm a writer. I've written over 150 articles on mental health. And the most recent thing that I did, I acted in a movie.
Yeah, I know that.
That was amazing. I just landed the role of a surgeon. The movie is yet to be released. It's called Mini. It's directed by an award winning director. So, I mean, I guess I've been at the right place at the right time.
So you say like serendipity is a lot of you award it to serendipity. Is it?
No, the thing is, maybe it's karma. Maybe I did a lot of good things in my previous birth and God is rewarding me in this birth. Whatever it is, I think I'm very lucky. And I'm very grateful.
You have been into modeling and also a mentor for people getting into it. How tough is modeling industry? What are the various setbacks do you think people in modeling face?
Okay, during my days, actually I'm quite old, modeling wasn't taken very seriously as a career. Okay, girls, the good looking girls who are tall and all that, they will be studying and as a hobby they would take modeling, do modeling for their friends as favors, just to boost their ego and stuff. These days, modeling is a full-fledged career.
Right.
People take it very seriously. Models have their own managers, they have their own camera person, they have their own makeup artist. It's taken very, very seriously because there's a lot of money involved. Earlier, parents never used to encourage modeling as a career. It was just something that the kids did for fun. Nowadays, it's a really, really serious career, a profession. People, only thing is, it's very temporary. Okay, I mean, you can last as a model only probably for 3 to 5 years, after which newer models will come. They'll want to experiment with different looks. So it's a temporary career, but it's always good to have an education to fall back on. That would be my advice to models. And the setbacks in modeling these days is these models go through a lot of stress. They face a lot of tension in their professions. For example, there's a lot of competition, right? Now, a lot of people want to do modeling because it's a very lucrative career. Okay, there comes rejections. So when you go for an audition and you don't get that particular part, okay, of a model, the feelings that you go through, the low self-esteem, the low self-image, the poor body image, lack of confidence, it completely kills you. Okay, you start suffering from all kinds of health issues, mentally and physically. Okay, rejection can be really hard on a girl, especially. She'll start to feel very insecure. I've had a lot of models as patients who come to me. So what I basically do with them is I use a procedure called cognitive behavior therapy, where I change their mindsets to a very negative evaluation of them to a very positive one. When they think, oh, I'm not that good, I'm not as good looking as the other model, I change their perception.
So what goes in cognitive behavior mindset?
We have this whole process that we work on, where actually the therapist does more work than the patient. Okay, we come up with a whole lot of questions as to what the insecurities are. We talk about their past, okay, and then we come around to why they think like that. What is it related to, and then we change the thought processes and the cognitions. It's a very very difficult therapy, but it's extremely effective.
So do you think changing the mindset again? Do they go back to that modeling career? I mean, trying for getting one more role in the modeling part, or do they change their career? Like how does it affect
It
in
depends
general?
on the individual and how they react to my therapy. Some people feel so dejected that they say, okay, let me just go back to studying. The others are more motivated after therapy. I'm going to prove myself in the industry. It depends on the individual. It's on a case by case basis.
Okay, so again coming to modeling industry because that's where you have been for some
Yeah.
significant period of your time. So is it like more of looks or more of attitude? Like how is it?
It's
How
a
do things weigh?
combination of everything. Yeah. Basically, you need looks, good looks, height, and everything to model. The other thing is the personality. You have to be very affable. You have to get along with people. You have to be very patient. You have to be nice to people. You can't be grumpy, moody. You have to be sociable. Talk to everybody and stuff like that. Extroverted. They like a nice, genuine person. I have to be warm towards everybody around you. Definitely looks matter. Personality matters a lot. Attitude. You go with that I'm gonna win attitude. That's all there is to it. Okay, it's a combination of everything.
So coming to again parenting,
Yeah.
especially something we actually thought of
Hmm.
focusing on. So do you think that there are a lot of parents who are messing up their kids' life unconsciously for a reason that they haven't been parented properly? Why don't you shed some light on this? What do you think?
Sure. See, basically, I think the parents for this generation they are a very confused lot. On one hand, they want to give their children what their parents couldn't afford. The latest gadgets, whatever the kids want, vacations abroad. On one hand, they tend to do that. On the other, they have very high expectations from their kids. Yeah? They want their kids to score highly, be great at sports. Culturally, they should be doing well, dance, and they want everything. A multi-talented kid. What if the kid doesn't have the aptitude or the talent or the skills? They're forced to do something to please their parents. And the other thing I hate about parents is they put all their aspirations and dreams. If they wanted to become a doctor, they couldn't afford it, or they weren't that intelligent enough. They put it on their kids, yeah. It's such a burden on the kids. Okay, what you dreamt about, you want your son or daughter to become. I just had a case recently where a boy who was doing engineering had absolutely no aptitude for engineering. He hated college. Okay, second year college. He had arrears. I don't know, 12 arrears. I don't know how many arrears. He came to me suicidal. He said, "I just want to end my life. For one thing, I can't quit. My parents paid a very high capitation fee. I don't know, yeah, 20 lakhs something. He's saying I can't quit midway. The guilt will kill me. Plus, I'm going on failing and disappointing my parents. Okay, there was so much pressure. He's saying I think I'd rather just kill myself." Okay, so when he came to me for counseling, I had to call his parents. The core of the matter is the parents are clueless about what their son is going through. He hasn't confided in them because he's too scared of the repercussions. They'll be, all the expectations are completely gone. No? If he's going to say, I'm going to quit. So
Right.
slowly I spoke to the parents and said, you want a dead son or a happy alive son? Stop putting so much pressure. He was actually very interested in becoming a fashion designer. And the parents thought fashion designing and all was way too low down, not a very good industry to be in. What will society say? What will other people think? What will our neighbors think? Typical parent mentality. Okay, this guy was terribly talented. I've seen his work. He's an amazing fashion designer. So I convinced the parents, not just one or two sessions. It took a while for me. They were very resistant. They actually didn't want to come to me counseling. I literally had to force them. They came, they kind of understood. We had a long chat with the son and the parents together. He explained to them exactly what he wants to do. He very boldly took out his designs and showed them how talented he was. Once we got around to talking, they realized, no point in him being unhappy. Why the whole thing? They said, no, don't worry about the capitation fee and everything. Pursue what you actually like and what you're passionate about because that's when you're going to do really well.
Do you think the generation Is it a cause of generation, or how do you think? What are the kind of reasons that are leading to such scenarios?
No, it's a generation gap. The parents don't know what the various fields are right now. For them, it's either you become a doctor or you become an engineer. That mindset for the parents have to change. Yeah, you know the kind of new fields that there are now, which are highly lucrative. You can become a chef. You can open a restaurant. You can become an interior designer. You can become a baker. You can become an event manager. Look at the kind of areas that have expanded. Yeah, don't have parents shouldn't have a closed mindset. Okay, just encourage your kids' interest, aptitude, skills, and knowledge in whatever field they want to know. Then only they will shine. You just can't force them to do engineering and to become a doctor when they have no interest.
So it's more of opening themselves.
Communication, open communication. If the son actually comes to the parent and says, I really don't want to do the conventional engineering doctor stuff. This is the area I want to pursue. The parent should be supportive. That will be really nice. Talking to your son or daughter in an open manner. Okay, so is this what you want to do? Okay, we're going to support you. It's as simple as that. So there are four parenting styles. Okay, so the first type is authoritarian or disciplinarian. These kind of parents are very strict. Okay, what they say, the children have to obey. If they don't obey, they have punishment in the form of verbal abuse or spanking or hitting. Okay, so it's either my way or the highway. You listen to me, otherwise just get out of the house. That kind of very strict parenting. Okay, that's terribly unhealthy. Second comes the authoritative. This is a very, very healthy way of parenting. Okay, here the parents have reasonable expectation from the children. Okay, so they give them enough support. They say if you can't do this, it's okay, we'll support you, you do what you're interested in. Very understanding. Like I said, open communication. They understand their kids' needs and they reciprocate it with all the understanding and support. Okay, that's extremely good parenting. The third kind of parenting is permissive parenting. Permissive is again very unhealthy. These kind of parents are very laid back. They'll give their kids whatever they want. They don't want to hurt the kids' feelings. These kids grow up with very little self control, very little self discipline. They're just not bothered. They're not very motivated kids. So that kind of parenting also is unhealthy. The last one is completely neglectful. They completely can't be bothered about their kids' physical needs, emotional needs, social needs. They don't go for parent teacher meetings. They don't know who their kids' friends are, where they go. They travel or work. They don't even bother to call home to find out how their kids are doing. That's called neglectful parenting. So these are the four kinds of parenting. Authoritative is probably the best way to parent your child, according to me.
Why do you think so? Authoritative.
Yes, the second one, not the authoritarian. That's very confusing. So we'll call the first one disciplinarian. That's the strict disciplinarian one. Second is authoritative. It's a give and take. There's very good communication and interaction between the parent and the child. Okay, the child can say anything to the parent, open up his feelings to the parent. The parent is like a friend. They understand and they support you through all what you're going through. That's when the child really confides in a parent and there'll be a very good relationship. So I would definitely recommend authoritative.
So when you consider all these kinds of parenting, all four kinds of parenting,
Yeah.
so where do you think ego plays a role in the parenting process?
See, ego comes mostly between the son and the father. There's never that much of ego problems with the daughter and the mother, the daughter and the father. Okay, there is a strange ego problem as to, I have to prove you better. I have to be one step ahead of you. That ego problem always develops between the father and son.
Is it?
Yes, it happens in most families. So it's just up to the parents to take a step back and realize that's very damaging, and that the father shouldn't be shouldn't be overly controlling because the son will start getting rebellious. Okay, he should just analyze the situation, work with the son, be like a parent and a friend, so that they can work together to form a beautiful relationship. A relationship between a father and son is really wonderful if the ego doesn't come with it.
So what do you think? What rules the relationship between a mother and a daughter?
That's a very different relationship. Yeah, they are very emotionally close. Men and women are wired very differently, right? Women are very emotional creatures, so that brings them really close. They have a lot of common interests. The daughters generally are very close to their mothers. They confide in them. They depend on them for so many things. That's a very intense relationship. And I find there's no egos when it comes to a mother and daughter. They both are equal in a lot of ways.
So what is the lesson you have learned by being a parent?
Oh, I've learned many lessons actually. My kids are actually my teachers. Sometimes they actually are my parents. They'll advise me. Like when I overdo something, binge watching, and they say this is really unhealthy for you, and amazing kids, yeah. And sometimes when I have patients who are kids, and when I'm struggling to figure out what's going on in their minds, I talk to my children. They give me their perspective. You know what? Maybe he's going through that. That's wonderful, yeah, to get input from my kids. That helps me in my practice. I'm like a friend to them. I'm not the strict mother at all. Sometimes they take advantage, but then I really don't. They're very sweet kids. So I think a parent should also be a friend. That works really well. Not overly strict, not overly casual. The right balance will do the trick.
Okay. So I just want to share something that I have not shared with a lot of people, as I told you just before the meeting. So I have gone through a process where from my 11 to 15, I was parent in a wrong way, or
Mm-hmm.
where my parents were not too much into were not too much into understanding what I actually wanted to be and wanted to fit me into their image of good life. And after 15, they actually started understanding like things were going in a wrong way where I got into depression. So, like, do you think parents can realize? I mean, there are a lot of parents that do you think they can go through a specific procedure where they can understand that things are going in a wrong direction and they have to look at themselves and change the way they are parenting?
Absolutely, yeah. See, when are the important times in a child's life? 10th standard, because they have to choose their respective subject in 11th. 12th standard, because they again have to choose their specific areas. So after 10th, the parents have to see a professional, a career counselor perhaps, or even a psychologist, just so that they can sit and talk to a mediator. Generally, a psychologist is non-judgmental, and I'm an anonymous person. They can come and talk to me about anything. So once they voice out their feelings and thoughts, we're worried about our son, we don't know what he wants to do, I can talk to the son or daughter to find out their interests. Then I get to communicate with the parents. Then we all three sit together, mother, father, four of us, son or daughter, and me. We talk about what his interests are, where what he's interested in doing in the future, his long-term goals, short-term goals. We talk about everything. Okay. Once we get a clear idea of what he exactly wants to do, then they can probably get the application form as per his interests and wishes, and then proceed. I think pre-counseling is definitely required.
Which most of
After
them don't do.
they don't do, they are clueless. They have no idea, and most of the time their interests don't match the kids' interest. There's a clash right there, no? They put like their aspiration on the child who doesn't want to become an engineer, and the poor child doesn't even feel so guilty that their parents have done so much for them. They don't have the heart to refuse. They get into the program and then they're clinically depressed. They attempt suicide. It's the same old thing over and over again. I don't know why parents are not learning from this.
So do you think what is the way that students and the children can pick up some sort of result to communicate this particular thing with the parents?
See, again, the same thing is every school, every college, they should make it mandatory to have a psychologist in place. The psychologist can easily communicate to the parents, right? This is what your child is going through. I don't think he's interested in what you're interested in for him or her. He has his own interests. Please, focus on that. Because at the end of the day, it's his future, not yours. Okay? So I think there should be a psychologist in place who can communicate these things between the child and the parent, and the child is embarrassed to communicate with his parents directly.
Because I have seen few of my friends actually who keep saying that they suffer internally a lot and keep saying, but my parents, I'm doing this particular thing for my parents and they're not understanding, and they keep saying I am struggling a lot because of them, and at the end of the day I'm doing all this for them and they are not worrying about me. All these things keep on happening. So do you think this suffering needs to end? To what extent they can stop that?
A parent should start becoming a little more aware. No?
Right.
Now you have technology. All they have to do is go on the internet, read up about what and all there is available. If the son says, okay, I'm interested in, let's say, becoming a chef. Okay, people think, okay, being a cook is something like a very low paying profession and stuff like that. Especially parents. They don't want to tell their relatives that their son is a cook. But being a chef is the most well paid profession all over the world. Now it's picking up in India, So I think parents shouldn't be embarrassed about what the kids want to do. The kids are passionate about something. I think the parents have to be supportive.
So you mean like parents are just looking at it this way? So like graduation take, giving a birth to a child take,
Becoming an IT engineer, having a family. These are the things that they want. They're not realizing what their child wants. There's a complete disparity between what the parent wants and what the child wants. It's not the parent's future, it's the child's future, no? So they never understand from that point of view. Now, I've done so much for you. We as parents have educated you. Why put the guilt trip on the child? Right? Already the child is going through immense pressure as to, oh, what is my future? What am I going to be? Am I going to be well settled? A million things going through his mind, no, the youngster. To top it all, parents putting him on a guilt trip doesn't work that way. Parents need to get a little more understanding here. Really.
So just flipping the coin and just changing on to second, some other area of questions. So what is the kind of area you have suffered the most?
My education, especially my PhD. Okay, my doctorate was torturous. It took almost 6 years, 6.5 years to finish it with an MA and an M.Phil. Despite that, they say the PhD will be shorter, but it wasn't. It was longer, in fact. It was a very, very horrible part of my life.
So you got out with the second rank in your MBA.
MA second rank, M.Phil first rank, and I was highly commended for my PhD thesis by US professors and even Indian professors. The thing is, what we had to do was we had to go give our attendance in college every single day, like school kids. I mean, normally you do research on a PhD, right?
Right.
But this Indian universities, I think, are very different. And I was pregnant at the time, right in the middle of my PhD. So with that, I had to go every day, and the commute was almost 45 minutes one way. Madras University, another, you know, the commute and the traffic, right?
Yeah.
So that was a big strain for me. The whole research took a long time. You know, there was a lot of, many times during my PhD, I wanted to quit. But I had such a supportive husband. He said, no way are you quitting. We are there for you. You're going to finish it however hard it is. My in-laws are very supportive, my dad and my family. Without them, I couldn't have been, you know, I wouldn't be here, yeah, having such a successful practice.
So I just want to get into depth about this matter. So when you really want to do something and something, like the external difficulties are just stopping you, how do you just turn them around? Like how do you just manage?
Well, it can be very daunting, yeah, because you start feeling very negative about yourself. Okay, you will probably think, oh no, I don't think I can actually make it. I think it's too difficult for me. You know, I think I'd rather just be a housewife. I don't want to work. All kinds of things will just be, you know, going on in your mind. You just have to be, you know, what can I say? Just be strong, be there, and take any kind of help that is offered. Okay, for me, I had help, support, understanding, care from all around here. I was very, very lucky that way. Husband, in-laws, fathers, sisters, sons, amazing, amazing. You know, I completely am grateful for the kind of support I had. You can easily come out if you have social support and parental support, spousal support. If you don't have that, it's very, very difficult. Self-motivation or intrinsic motivation, no, that only very few people have. Many of us are externally motivated. We are motivated by appreciation, rewards, awards, and many people don't care about all that. They're just happy by themselves. They motivate themselves internally. I'm doing this for myself, I'm happy. So it depends, like I said again, it depends on each individual and what they want.
Who do you think of when you listen to the word successful?
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, this may sound ridiculous, but I think it's Donald Trump, the president of the USA.
Actually, I'm a huge fan of Donald Trump.
Wonderful. Just look at the man.
Yeah.
He's had failed marriages,
Right.
declared bankruptcy several times. Okay, he's such a clown. People like he tweets immaturely like a teenager every few minutes about the most important plans that US has.
Right.
Does all these silly fights. This that at the end of the day, he made a whole nation believe in him.
Right.
Okay, how was that even possible?
Right now I'm having
Amazing.
goosebumps actually.
Yeah, he's the most powerful man in the world, despite all the failures and his awful, ugly past. If that's not success, what is? Yeah, amazing. That's what comes to mind.
He has built one of the world's biggest hotels in the middle of real estate crisis actually.
Amazing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, whatever people say, call him a clown, call him this. I mean, whatever said and done, playboy. Look at where he is right now. He's ruling USA and he's so powerful.
But
You have to give it to the man, yeah.
right. So again, people like whenever see Donald Trump, they despite seeing, in spite of seeing all these things, the success he has had, see, no one becomes a billionaire without doing a lot of hard work. Despite, without seeing that particular hard work, they always see funny things, which actually don't matter.
Yeah, they don't. See, at the end of the day, he is doing a lot of good. Okay, people always talk about the wrong things he's doing, but in general, a lot of my husband's relatives actually voted for him. But the fact is, they don't want to tell people they voted for him because they're a little embarrassed. But they have eventually, I think he is doing a lot of good for the country, but people just want to acknowledge all the bad things he's doing. Because side by side, he is doing a lot of other silly things that, are putting people off.
So yeah, again, coming to belief systems. So belief system there, it dictate a lot of our actions actually. So when you look at all of our belief systems, you look at the top 1% people of whomever you take, you are one among the top 1% you know.
Okay.
So what is one belief that other people treat as insane?
I believe in spirits. I'm not weird or anything. This incident happened to me. My mom died when I was 19. She died of asthma. So what had happened was none of us could get. All of us wanted closure. I'm the youngest of four daughters, and my dad was devastated. Okay, we just couldn't cope with her death because it was very sudden. Generally, they say asthma is not a killer disease, but I think she'd been taking medicine from a very young age. That kind of affected her body and stuff like that. So she died at the age of 53, very young. So what we did was we wanted to connect with her in some way because she left us very abruptly. So my sister came from Singapore, had another sister in Chennai. The other US sister couldn't make it. So we went to a lady who did the mediation. She would call a spirit. I mean, I don't know how this sounds. Maybe ridiculous to some people. So we sat in a particular board in a temple with that Auja board, or Uja board, whatever you call it, I can't pronounce it properly. So where you have a whole set of alphabets in Tamil and English, and the coin moves. The lady who's doing the translating of the information, she has a hand on the coin and it will move. When you ask a question, it will move so fast, it's not even human. And it will answer your questions. The spirit, that's my mom's spirit. And the wonderful thing is why I started believing when my dad asked the question, the spirit or whatever, when the lady translated it, is exactly the words my mother would have used. It was absolutely scary at the same time very fascinating. One example was my dad was sitting in a corner. I think he was a little scared of this whole procedure. Okay, so she asked him, in a apaka mood seridia. This is exactly what she would have said in my house if my dad was sulking. The exact words. How can that be possible? Yeah, you tell me. I never believed in all this, but I thought this was really fascinating. Some of the replies that we got, and at the end of the day, she actually said, "Don't do this again. Don't contact me again. This should be the last time you're connecting with me. I'm extremely happy where I am. I'm not suffering from any physical disease anymore. So all of you lead your lives." And it just came to an abrupt stop. Her hand just came to an abrupt stop on at the end. I don't know.
Was that particular event was that particular event really helpful in getting you out of this particular depression?
Yeah, no, obviously you can't get over
Right.
the death of a parent. It brought us some closure. We have to believe in something, no? We are all grieving. My dad obviously hasn't gotten over the loss even now after so many years, more than 20 years. For us as daughters, we're very close to my mother. We just couldn't take the fact that she passed away, no? So this kind of got us some kind of, I don't know, a relief maybe, so that it made us feel okay. She's happy. I mean, when she actually said those familiar words, whether it's true or not or whatever, we don't care. At that point, we just want comfort. This was very comforting for me. So a lot of people say, "What are you believing in spirits and all?" I said, "Yeah, it's my choice." I think they think I'm a little insane. So it doesn't matter. It's personal for me. I got relief and comfort from it.
And last and final question: what are you obsessed with?
Yeah, obsessions. One is my family's happiness. I just want them to be happy. I'm not talking about just my husband and kids. Talking about my in-laws, my father, my sisters, my extended family. I'll do anything for them to be happy. Okay. Let's say what I tend to do is I tend to overfocus sometimes. I don't think I should be doing that. So every time I do that, I tend to take a step back because I don't want them to feel pressured. I never force them to study. I brought them up very independent minded. I just want them to be a happy, cheerful lot. Yeah, all of them. I want to be a good daughter, mother, daughter-in-law, friend, sister, cousin, whatever it is. I just want people around me to be happy, and that should be because of me. And the other thing I'm obsessed about, oh, I have to tell you, there's one more thing, spreading mental health awareness. I'm obsessed with it, yeah. See, when you have a headache or stomachache, you just pop a pill or go to a doctor. That's very normal. Why don't people, when they have anxiety or depression, Why are they afraid to go to a psychologist? Why should the stigma be there for mental health? I don't understand here. When you're in agony and pain, why can't you walk in casually to see a professional like a psychologist? If the symptoms are severe, go to a psychiatrist and take a pill. Want to take a pill for stomachache, for the pain to go? That's body pain, this is mind pain. I want people to understand that mental health has to be treated on par with physical health. Until I get there, I'm just going to aggressively, make people aware of mental health and how important it is for people to be mentally sound and healthy.
I want to add up one more thing.
Sure.
So, what about people who are obsessed with their workaholics, like who work almost 17 to 18 hours a day, and they just like literally just get burnout? And how do you think like they can heal themselves?
I actually did my PhD thesis on burnout. Okay, amazing that you're asking me this question. So I included variables like locus of control, social support, organizational role stress. Okay, these are all my variables that I dependent and independent variables. On what basis do people get burnt out? Okay, so like you said, 14 to 18 hours of working can really stress a person out, right? So what my advice to these IT professionals or BPO professionals, entrepreneurs, anybody who works that hard, okay, just be focused. Okay, just have a goal in mind, go towards that goal, don't get distracted. Okay, delegate duties to other people. Yeah, don't be embarrassed to ask for favors. Hey, can you do this for me? Next time they ask you for help, I'm sure you can do that for them. There's no point in saying, oh, I'm feeling awkward to ask for favors. People are actually very nice. Yeah, they will help you, but you have to learn to ask. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing is what people can do is to manage their time properly. A lot of people don't know how to manage their time properly. Eat at all the wrong times, work late in the night. You need proper sleep, yeah. You need to exercise every day. You need to have a proper diet. Unless all these things are there, you can't manage your life properly. That's why they call it the work-life balance. There has to be work and there has to be a social life for you. If you're obsessed with work, what will happen to your social life? And if you're socially isolated, again that leads to depression. Untreated depression leads to suicide. It's just a vicious cycle. So all I'm saying is follow all these rules. Time management, delegate duties to others, ask for favors, eat properly, exercise, sleep at the proper times, don't have too much junk food. If they just follow this, I'm sure they can, regulate their hours. I think they it's just that they're not consistent. One week they'll do it, the next week they'll get bored, they'll go back to their old routines.
So, do you think like we can do anything? I mean, is it just mindset or is it anything else that we can just put it on a routine?
If you're determined, definitely you can do it. Yeah.
So it's
If you
always
want to change, it's all up to the person. How consistent they are and how they are able to manage.
Thank you so much for being
Oh,
on the show
not
and
at all.
adding a
Absolute
lot of
pleasure.
value.
Oh, not at all. So, and I'd like to conclude saying, I mean, it was so nice. Yeah, there were a lot of questions that was very personal. And, when I spoke about myself, I actually realized a lot more things about myself. So, thank you for giving me this opportunity. And it's been wonderful talking to you.
It's actually a lot. So it's more of actually adding value actually to the people who are viewing it. So absolutely, I felt there was a need for something about parenting that most of the people were actually not having.
Yeah, that's actually true. But I think they just need to be guided. Most of them, like I said, don't know what's happening around the children, what they are doing and stuff like that. If they are a little more understanding and supportive, I think the kids will come forward and talk to them, and the communication can get better. The parents are a little flexible and adaptive.